Greetings, comrades. Welcome back to my channel. And today, I just wanted to do a kind of introduction part 2 type of thing, because I really don't know what else to talk about or to try to make a video about. I'm literally just starting out and trying to get my bearings, trying to, get into the groove of things. And I look at what's going on in the world. I look at all the ideas that I could be talking about, and damn, there's so much, and I have a lot to say, and it's really difficult to just start with something, to pick, well, what is the thing that is really, getting me to want to talk, and that's really hard to say. So for right now, I just kind of wanted to make a video. I wanted to talk about, more about where I stand philosophically and politically, so that's clear for future reference. And again, I understand that only 5 people are going to watch this, maybe, but maybe that'll turn into something later down the line. So who knows? That's what I'm trying to do anyway. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, of course I'm a leftist, and if you're watching this video from Twitter, you would at least know, you'd probably be aware of that. I also consider myself a socialist. I mean, I don't think that's surprising. If you're on the left, you're probably a socialist of some kind or another. I don't really know anybody who is properly on the left who wouldn't consider themselves a socialist in some sense or another. I mean, unless you're a social democrat who considers themselves on the left. I really don't know how to talk about that right now, but yeah. I guess I should make it abundantly clear that I'm not a big fan of labels, and of making myself kind of, or just wedding myself to some sort of major kind of political ideological concept, because I'm open to a lot of them. I mentioned in my first video that I probably identify most with the label of libertarian socialism, but even having said that, I've read Conquest of Bread by Kropotkin, and it is one of the best books I've ever read. And so I don't think that there's anything evil or wrong about the ideology of anarcho-communism. It's just the only real disagreement there is just the process to get there. And that may be a topic for another video, but my point is that there's a lot of ideas I'm open to. I've read a little bit of Lenin as well, and he's so-called more on the authoritarian side of the left, but I really didn't get that sense from Lenin per se. I think I would consider him kind of a theorist about the function and the power of the state and how that can be used. But I don't see, just because he talks about the function of the state in a revolutionary process, why that would necessarily make him authoritarian. So, having said that, a lot of this kind of stems from, this is an important thing for me, in terms of just making clear what my political beliefs are. A lot of it comes from a place of a more fundamental philosophical view, and I generally tend to be sympathetic to the existentialist works when it comes to more fundamental philosophical issues, as well as post-structuralism, or also known as postmodernism. Critical theory is also kind of important in the connection between a lot of these kind of deeper philosophical concepts. And that's where I find myself, really. I generally tend to think in a philosophical way because that's what my degree is. So, yeah, you know, having said that, like, for this channel and for the videos I want to make, I want to generally try to focus on the philosophical side of leftist ideas, but I want to do it in a way that isn't alienating to anyone who's on the left, and I don't want to, like, get into this trap of, like, debating leftists on the internet. And it's just not something that I care about, because I feel like it's detrimental to our movement for us to constantly be fighting with each other. Even in situations where it might be warranted in some ways, and I'm not saying, like, you can't critique or whatever, but, like, and you know, that kind of ties into the concept of cancel culture, which is something I'll talk about. You know, I'm very much on the fence about that kind of issue, but, like, it's a nuanced issue for me. So anyway, like, I want to focus on, like, for me, like, left unity is an important thing. Working together with other leftists to advance our cause is super important to me. So I don't want to waste time on this channel, like, arguing with leftists. I can talk about what I believe and my position. And if you have a critique of it, that's great. You can send it to me, and I'll consider it and rethink it. I'm not going to debate leftists. But, you know, so that means that, like, well, what is the focus? So the focus is going to be on some level, a little bit, just education over the philosophical issues related to the left, as well as debunking right-wing philosophy, right-wing economics, right-wing politics, right-wing rhetoric of any kind. Fighting the right is a bigger priority for me than, you know, petty disputes with other leftists. So, yeah. You know, I guess that's just pretty much where I stand. I mean, obviously, it's complicated, and there's a lot of stuff involved with ideas like existentialism and post-structuralism and how they relate to leftist politics. And that's something that I can get into at some point. Another thing is, if you're coming here from Twitter, like, and you're one of, like, the 5 people that is going to watch this video from Twitter, you know, if you might have seen how I ended up getting into a debate with Ben Burgess in DMs, and I was gonna, like, maybe talk about that on a deeper level, and maybe even start, like, making a video like this one about it. And I thought about it, and I was just like, you know what, it's not really worth it to me to get into that. So I'm not really sure, like, you know, if that's something that I'd be comfortable even talking about, just for the reason of like, you know, critiquing the left is not something I want to do, or giving, like, takes on, like, how this leftist is wrong and that leftist is wrong. I'm just not, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do what Vaush does. You know, I'm differentiating myself from him in that sense. Yeah. I guess just I really hope that you can just see this as, like, a channel devoted to kind of philosophical ideas and ways we can kind of propagate that into the right. Yeah, so this is just a short video. I don't have a whole lot else to say. I hope that kind of, like, gets across what I'm going to be doing for this channel and what I want to do, or what I personally believe. Yes, also, by the way, I'm an atheist. I don't know if that matters, because I'm probably not going to be talking about that kind of issue that much. I have a lot of ideas about philosophy, so, like, that'll come up. I'll be talking about it. It gets complicated. Anyway, stay rad, folks. Thanks for watching.